In this presentation, we'll do a quick review of what are glands. These are the summary of this presentation. So, glands are a specialized type of cells in animals. They release secretions for specific functions, and that is the basis of all glands. These secretions can be released into the bloodstream, they can be released into the cavities or outside of the body. There are three essential types of glands. There are really two essential types of glands: endocrine glands and exocrine glands. And then we have what is called mixed glands. Endocrine glands are many, and we will study them in the endocrine lectures. Okay, examples are pituitary, thyroid, pancreas, adrenal, and so on. Now, exocrine glands are different from endocrine because they do not qualify to be called endocrine. Now, obviously, for that, you will need to know what are the qualifications of endocrine glands, and we will discuss that in the endocrine section. But we are here just concerned with exocrine glands that do not qualify to be endocrine because they do not satisfy the criteria. These glands, the exocrine glands, can be of three different types, and they release their secretions usually outside of the bloodstream. It does not release it into the bloodstream, and that is one of the criteria to be endocrine. So by not being able to, or not using the bloodstream to release its secretions, it is therefore not an endocrine gland, and they will release it elsewhere. Now, there are three different types of exocrine glands. These are classified by their names: merocrine, apocrine, and holocrine, or crine, however you want to say it. So merocrine glands work by exocytosis, refer back to cell physiology. These exocytosis processes therefore um, allow these glands to be also called eccrine glands. So eccrine glands and merocrine glands, essentially the same thing. Uh, then we have apocrine glands, in which the plasma membrane buds off and then becomes a new vesicle that is released. Finally, we have holocrine glands, which are glands where the cell itself disintegrates and releases its contents. It is not cell destruction as much as to say that that is how the cell contents um, are released for useful need. Mixed glands are glands which are both exocrine and endocrine. So there is a number of, or there are some glands which qualify that way. Example is the liver and the pancreas. So you can see the mind map of these glands at this link, and you can play around with this mind map to solidify your knowledge. Now, exocrine glands are of several different types, and as I mentioned, they are merocrine, apocrine, and holocrine. You can see merocrine or eccrine glands are present everywhere except in the palms and the soles. These merocrine glands are typically sweat glands. So there are no sweat glands in the palms and the soles. Now, apocrine glands are glands that secrete proteins, lipids, and steroids. And holocrine glands are the sebaceous glands that are present with the hair follicles in the dermis. So so the purpose of secretion of the sebaceous glands is that it lubricates the skin and the hair. Exactly how do these glands, the three types of glands, release their secretions is shown in these images. Merocrine or eccrine glands release their secretions by process of exocytosis. Apocrine glands basically feature the plasma membrane as a constriction at one end, and then that constricted end will pinch off and get released, and that would be an apocrine gland type. Um, and mucus cells typically release mucus in this fashion. And finally, holocrine glands where the mature cell matures, and the mature cell dies and becomes a secretory product. That's pretty much. The exocrine glands can also be classified by nature of their secretory product. Based on the type of secretions, the exocrine glands can be of three types: serous, mucus, and sebaceous. So serous glands produce water-like product or thin watery product, which is usually rich in protein, and the example of such a secretion is sweat. Mucus glands produce a thick, viscous product which does not flow as smoothly as a watery substance and is rich in carbohydrates. An example is mucus secretions of the stomach, in the respiratory tract, and elsewhere. Sebaceous glands produce oily substances which are rich in lipids, and the examples are meibomian glands, and Fordyce spots. As I was alluding to before, the endocrine system is comprised of endocrine glands. There are specific requirements for glands to be called endocrine. And so we are going to now move into the endocrine system. This preliminary presentation only satisfies the requirement for you to understand what are glands. So we have discussed the other part of glands, the exocrine glands, in this one, and then we will talk in class about the endocrine system.